My name is Christina. Duh, of course you know that. Today I'm going to be talking about the FIDM Debut show. You're probably thinking, what is that? FIDM is the school that I went to. It's the Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising. But before I get into the whole debut show and all of that, I kind of want to go into my personal FIDM backstory. All my life I kind of loved drawing, I loved fashion, I loved clothing, I loved all the artsy fun stuff. So when I was, I think, in middle school, I kind of figured out, fashion could actually be a career. Maybe not the most successful career in the area in which I live, but it was kind of a dream of mine. So I started looking into it and I came upon FIDM. I don't even remember how. I don't know if they mailed me a brochure or if I just found them online. I honestly don't remember. But I was dead set that I was going to go to FIDM. I mean, in middle school, you're kind of not looking into colleges as much. But then once I was in high school, I kind of started sketching clothing a little bit more. I started learning about fashion designers, about sewing, and just different aspects of the fashion industry. In my junior year of high school, when teachers are kind of pounding you on gotta look for schools, gotta get scholarships and apply everywhere. I kind of already had the idea of where I wanted to go, what I wanted to do. I had a lot of AP classes and I had a lot of teachers actually tell me that it was a bad idea to go to FIDM. Kind of pushed me more to kind of prove them wrong. In my junior year, I got a brochure about FIDM's debut show. The FIDM debut show is a runway show, but the runway show consists of pieces done by some of the interior designers, graduating interior designers, some of the graduating fashion designers. So they put on their show. They have collections and they send out invites to prospective students or just visitors. So when I got the invite, I was like, Mom, Dad, we are going to SoCal. The show takes place in Santa Monica at the Barker Hangar, usually this time of the year. So actually tomorrow is the FIDM debut show for the graduating class of spring 2015. I unfortunately can't go, but good luck to everyone. Back to my story. So I got to go to the debut show, but that morning my parents took me to the campus. The campus is gorgeous, it's beautiful, it's in downtown LA, which is kind of a developing fashion epicenter in California. It amazed me how just huge and incredible and important the fashion industry is in the world. You wouldn't think it, but it is. It's a huge business. And if you have the time, you should totally go to FIDM's website. It's FIDM.edu. Check it out. You can see a lot of student work. You can see pictures of the campuses. There's 4 campuses. There's one in San Francisco, LA, which I attended both. There's one in Orange County and San Diego. So then after we kind of had a tour of the whole school, it's a business, so you kind of meet with an admissions director and they're trying to convince you, they're asking you why you're interested, what you're interested in specifically. The admissions counselor that I had was super, super nice. It was awesome because once I started going to the school, he would totally check up on me every week and he'd, give my parents updates on how I was doing because I was kind of homesick, to be honest. But anyway, he kind of tried to pinpoint what I was interested in, specifically in fashion. So he wanted to know whether I was all the way through fashion designer, I just wanted to be in a sewing room for 24 hours straight. Not me. I love fashion, I love designing, but I can't sit there and sew the same seam, rip it out a million times for hours on end. So that was out of the question. He asked me if I liked the business side, if I was good at math and calculating stuff. Nope. Had just failed my math class senior year, had to retake it. Math was definitely not for me. Next option, do you love just looking at a dress, sketching it, and then drawing 100 different versions of that same dress in different colors, patterns, shapes, different buttons, and different customers? And I was like, yeah, that's like what I do every day. So he's like, well, then this is for you. Ultimately, I ended up majoring in merchandise product development, and I got my Associate of Arts in that. Back to my story. So then after the whole meeting with the admissions director, we headed over to the Barker Hangar where the fashion show was going to be. So it's super awesome. There's like all these like reporters, fashion insiders. I got to meet Nick Varios. If you don't know who that is, Google him. He was a contestant on Project Runway. He made it 4th place in his season, which is awesome. He's one of my favorite fashion designers. American fashion designers, to be completely honest. I'm not just saying that. He's like really great. Go in, there's a lot of pieces that you can kind of browse and look at as you're waiting for the show to start, and then they seat you and you're kind of like waiting, like all nervous. So the fashion show starts. They have like this hype man host kind of guy. He starts introducing some of the interior designers. They have some of their pieces on the runway, and then they have it's a show, so they have a lot of pieces from the costume designers, and then the show starts. And I believe there are about over a dozen fashion designers that are graduating, that are chosen for the show. Really amazing. They show kind of like a short video about their work, how they decided on their inspiration for the collection, and then they show the collection, and I don't know, maybe it's just because I am a fashion person, you get so inspired and just in awe. And I remember I turned to look at my parents and I was like, I need to go to this school. I want to be surrounded by this kind of inspiration, this kind of artwork. I feel like it's just gonna be so life-changing. Next day, we were supposed to actually leave right after the show that night, be home, whatever. But I was so set on going to the school that I told my parents, I was like, can we just stay one more day? Let's go back to the school, check it out, look more into the majors and just everything. So my dad said, okay. We stayed till the next day. We met again with the same admissions guy. He kind of gave us more information on the different majors, but I was set on product development. It matched better with my career goals. So he automatically gave me everything I needed to apply. Mind you, I had just started my junior year in high school, so kind of not applying to colleges yet. Super fun application, by the way. It was basically sketching, doing like a mini collection for a specific brand. It was just super fun. So I send in my application. Not even 2 days later, I get a call and they said, you're halfway in. So I was like, well, halfway in, what do I have to do now? They're like, well, you have to go through an interview with one of our directors or something like that. And she was, I believe, like a regional buyer for Macy's, something huge like that. I'm like, lovely. I got to speak to her. Super eye-opening. She talked about her own career. She explained how it is mainly a business. It's not just about like dressing people to look pretty. So I believe a few hours later after that interview, my admissions guy, I don't know what to call him, he called me back to my house phone. He's like, can you put me on speaker? And I was like, okay. And he's like, get your whole family. Okay. He's like, well, I just want to congratulate you. You've made it into FIDM. You are accepted. Boom. After that, I finished my junior year. Senior year started. I was still in all those AP classes, and everyone was talking about, well, you need to pass this AP test because then you can't get into Berkeley. And yeah, Berkeley is awesome. FIDM was just so, like I said, inspiring. I had a lot of teachers again telling me that I was making a mistake. So to please them, I applied to a few colleges. I got into most, but I wanted to go to FIDM. In October 2010, I moved to LA. I started my product development major there. I was in LA for about a year. It was a little too crazy for me as an 18-year-old without a car, no friends or family out there. I moved to San Francisco the next year, and also my best friend decided to go to FIDM too. And then 2 years later, after moving to San Francisco, graduating with my AA, I went back right away and started my Bachelor's of Science in Business Management. That was super awesome too. A lot of fun. You get to meet a lot of awesome people, make a lot of great connections, and in that time you kind of grow up, and I got to see just how important the fashion industry really is. If you have the chance, you should totally go to the FIDM Debut show. And if you're like me, who is just really creative, loves fashion, whether it be the marketing side, the buying side, or merchandising stuff in a store, whatever it is, I would definitely look into FIDM. I mean, they have a lot of different programs that I don't even recall all of them. And they're continuously introducing new majors, improving all of the majors all the time. FIDM really helped shape who I am, not just as like a fashion person, but as a human being in general, because I see things in new ways. When I hear music, I hear it differently. I picture things differently. When I go to art museums, I kind of understand the process of the artist a little bit more. When I read a book, I can imagine things more vividly. I know it may be an exaggeration, but in all honesty, that's kind of the effect that going to FIDM had on me. Anyway, I just wanted to give a little backstory, but definitely if any of you have any questions about my experience, about the school in general, please message me. I'm just gonna put it out there. If any of you guys want like a tour of the San Francisco campus, I would be pleased to take you there. It's amazing. Anyway, just wanted to explain all of that. And I'm glad that I got to share a little bit about myself with you guys too. So, like I said, any questions, suggestions, comments, please feel free to send them my way. Have a great week, guys. Bye! Does it look like I stole a queen's jewels? Because she gave it to me.